And good afternoon, everyone. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. My name is Jim, and this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. This is a directed network, and I am net control. If at any time during this net should any emergency arise, please notify net control, and we'll stand by and allow those in need to access this frequency. Is there any priority or emergency traffic at this time? And hearing nothing, we will continue. This net is all about ham radio and being all that you can be. That's what our Qso-Vlog network is all about, trying to help people achieve the best sounding station possible. Thanks for dropping by. FYI, my background is 50 years in commercial broadcasting, where a lot of big bucks are spent on audio processing equipment and getting it set up correctly to get the best sounding station possible. Well, long story short, when I became a ham radio operator, I could hear immediately a large discrepancy in on-air technical proficiency. A lot of stations were running with very poor mic equalization, very muddy, with little articulation. And as I continued to work stations, I realized most of the stations were also running very low average peak modulation, many around 30% of average peak modulation. So with my background, I felt I could help, or at least try. I knew that most modern-day ham transceivers did have enough onboard processing equipment to be able to overcome most all of the problems. So it would just be a matter of developing a generic dynamic range setup procedure and then adjusting the onboard EQ gear. And so I started the Qso-Vlog network with the phrase, "If you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout." And today we're currently featuring over 2,800 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. And you can access these recordings by going to YouTube and doing a call letter search for KC9VKV followed by the word logbook. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor followed by the word logbook. And we also have a newer series called KC9VKV Highlights. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor followed by the word highlights on a YouTube search. These are some of our less technical and more human nature philosophical kinds of QSOs. That's KC9VKV followed by the word highlights on a YouTube search. Both KC9VKV Highlights and KC9VKV Logbook are segments of our main YouTube homepage of Jim's Radio Story, where we celebrate a 50-year career in commercial broadcasting, a 50-year journey from a 5-watt pirate radio station as a 12-year-old to production director of a major 50,000-watt AM broadcast facility. And the thing that makes this truly a unique story is that I have all the actual masters from all along the way, over 2,600 shows, including many full-length major music concerts and radio documentaries. You'll have to check it out and subscribe. Jim's Radio Story on a YouTube search. Our mission statement for the Qso-Vlog network is to establish a higher technical level of radio transmissions of the human voice by the intelligent utilization of available electronics and current amateur radio transceivers. Our setup, while generic in nature, converts the average 10 dB dynamic range transmitter with an average 30% of peak modulation to a much fuller 3 dB dynamic range with an average 80 to 85% of peak modulation. This substantial boost in audio transmit level is extremely beneficial in high noise levels and heavy QRM. It allows you to punch through when others fail. The second part of our transmitter setup has to do with proper mic equalization. We're looking to optimize the transmitted voice for a higher degree of intelligibility through the use of EQ patterns that bring out the articulation aspects of the human voice. Again, why need to hear the voice if you can't understand the words? Also this afternoon, on the receive side, we're running 5 Internet SDR receivers, monitoring New York, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Virginia specifically. And in addition, we're running our new number 5 Hocus Pocus Internet SDR receiver loaded with 50 additional pre-programmed Internet SDR locations spread out over 20 states across the eastern half of the United States, trying to get the best copy from our 100-watt friends. Now the audio from these 5 SDR receivers comes up on a 6-position rotary selector. Also on the selector is our local receiver audio. And today, our local receiver is running 3 large 10-foot vertical magnetic loop antennas, one aimed at 0 degrees, one aimed at 90 degrees, and the number 3 is aimed at 134 degrees. These are run as a directional scanner array with a manual voting system 6-position rotary selector. Also today on the transmit side, we'll be running our NOSWR specially oriented resonant tuned dipole antenna. One leg of this resonant tuned dipole antenna runs broadside to Montreal, Canada. The other leg runs broadside to Miami, Florida. As we were constructing our station, our mantra was 20 over from Montreal to Miami with a hotspot through the Carolinas. And although conditions may vary, the general performance of this antenna supports its mission. Also today we'll be running our input source indicator, so when we switch from an internet SDR receiver to our local receiver, you'll be able to hear the switch and see the switch. You'll have to check it out on our YouTube Qso-Vlog video. And as we come together for another Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network, let us pause just a moment for the amateur radio operator's prayer. Lord, we pray for clear 20 over S9 communications today. Let all our transmissions fill the air and reach their destinations QSA5 to be understood by all. And as we pray for good radio conditions, let us also pray for good human conditions. During this time of pandemic that has challenged us all, we pray that you'll protect everyone, especially our elderly. And also, Lord, we seek your divine intervention to bring peace to a very divided United States. As we go through a very conflicting time in America's history, with dark clouds all around, we pray that you'll reduce life's daily political QRM between our brothers and sisters. And through your love and guidance, show us the way to find peace and harmony. Help us to communicate with one another 20 over S9. Thank you, Lord, and God bless and protect America. Amen. To continue, since this part of the band has many nets trying to operate in a very confined area, I would appreciate all stations checking into our Qso-Vlog net to keep their bandpass to no wider than 100 to 2900. And again, please, no wider than 100 to 2900. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. And this is normally the time that I would call for Charlie Q1GZL to join us, but Charlie's under the weather still. I spoke to him last week. He's doing better, and hopefully he'll be able to join us one of these Fridays coming up. Godspeed and willing. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net, and we're going to jump right into it. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Alpha Bravo 5 Victor Juliet.
Alpha Bravo 5 Victor Juliet. Roger, Roger. What's the name there?
Juliet. Roger, Roger. What's the name there? Roger. The name here is Dan, Delta Alpha November. I'm located in south central Pennsylvania, southwest of Gettysburg, about 25 miles on a mountaintop. Go ahead.
Roger, Roger. Dan, and what radio are you running today?
Roger, Dan, and what radio are you running today? I'm running an ICOM 7300, about 550 watts, and the antenna is a long wire, 155 foot long, sloping, half sloping, half horizontal at 90 feet. Over.
Roger, Dan, I'm copying you about 12 over on the PA SDR, and if you'd be interested in our setup procedure, it starts with you double checking to be sure you're in that wide transmit bandwidth, 100 to 2900. Roger.
100 to 2900. Roger. Roger that. I think I'm set up appropriately.
Yes, sir. Then move to your compressor on and add a 3. Compressor on and add a 3. Roger.
Compressor on and add a 3. Roger. Okay, compressor was at 5, but now it's at 3.
Yes, sir. Now move to your ALC with mic gain in hand. And as you say the word audio, you become a human test generator. And with mic gain in hand, as you say the word audio, adjust it to where your ALC is running 2/3. Roger?
It's running 2/3. Roger? Okay, Roger. It's right about there. That's 2/3.
All right. We usually use the word audio because you'd be surprised how much frequency range is in that word. It's just wall to wall, so it's very easy to set it with that word versus other words. I spent 2 months looking for the right word to utter just to set a ALC level. But anyway, on to our frequency control, the EQ control. Roger?
EQ control, Roger. Okay, stand by. Okay, I'm at plus one. Oh, I've got to look transmit, not receive. Stand by. -4 bass, +3 treble.
Alrighty. Which hand mic are you running? Are you running the supplied hand mic?
Are you running the supplied hand mic? No, I'm running a Heil Electret condenser, the ICM Bravo Golf, ICM BG mic, and I've got a, let's see, I'm about probably 2 to 3 inches from the mic.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I would go on up and max out my treble at +5, and I would take my bass back to 0. So +5 on your treble, and plus or minus 0 on your bass. Roger?
On your bass, Roger. Okay, that's 0 on the bass and +5 on the treble.
Yes, sir. It's almost the same difference as you had before, but we sync 1 KC back a little bit, and so you are a little more articulated than before. Roger?
Roger. Okay, well, that's great. I usually do very well on pile-ups and DX contacts. I know the antenna, I've tried to optimize the antenna, and I've definitely have very good results with the long wire at 90 feet. But the audio, if that helped it, that's great.
Yes, sir. Well, last week we had a huge defeat. We had gremlins in the waxworks, and we did miss audio in our recording, which kind of seems to be essential since we are all about audio, but those things happen. I've got a bigger magnifying glass this week, and I'm pretty sure that all of the normal throughs and the ones that we have to change have been changed in the right direction. So with fingers crossed, we proceed on, and you'll be able to hear the difference between when you started and when you ended, because we are recording now live till 5, and we'll post this up on YouTube. You go to YouTube, do a call letter search, KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. That will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 2800, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. Roger?
Uploaded by noon tomorrow. Roger? Okay, Roger. And what was the call again? Over?
KC9VKV. That's Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor. And the name is Jim, Juliet India Mike.
The name is Jim, Juliet India Mike. Okay, Jim. Well, thank you very much and appreciate that. And I'll listen for a little while. Thank you so much. 73. Happy holidays to you. KC9VKV, AB5VJ.
Roger, Roger. Dan, 73 that way, sir. You have a great holiday period coming up, and if you get a chance, maybe join us next Friday. We'd love to have you. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Radio you want to check out, give me a shout. November 9, Bravo, Charlie.
November 9, Bravo, Charlie. What's the name there?
Charlie, what's the name there? The name here is Brent. We're located in Green Bay, Wisconsin today. And we're just taking a little break from work as we're working from home. And thought I'd quick play on some radio, and I heard your little intro there, and I thought it was very interesting. I thought I'd give a check into your little net here.
Roger, Brent. What radio are you running today?
Brent, what radio are you running today? Today we're running an Apache Labs and on G2.
Okay, Brent, you have some distortion in your audio, and it sounds like RF getting into your AF, Roger?
Getting into your AF, Roger? Okay. Yeah, I heard that earlier on the monitor. I wasn't sure where that was coming from, but thanks for confirming that it actually is going out over the air.
Yes, sir. Now, what you might want to do, and we could do a little experiment. Are you running any kind of power at all right now?
Experiment. Are you running any kind of power at all right now? I am. It's about 400 watts.
Okay, drop it down to barefoot, and let's see where the distortion goes.
Distortion goes. Okay, right now we're at about 30 watts right now, and 9 DC.
Roger. Distortion follows you down even at low power, so that's interesting. I'm not exactly sure where to go. Usually, RF in the AF is caused by, running the power amp and the excessive, the more intense RF field in the room gets into the audio, and there you go. But you dropped your power amp, and you still had pretty much the same kind of distortion follow you down. Would you? What mic are you running right now?
What mic are you running right now? Right now we're using a Stellar Extreme studio mic.
Roger. Now that was pretty clean. I didn't hear any distortion on that one at all. Are you still low power?
That one at all? Are you still low power? I am still low power right now.
Okay, come up on power and let's see where that goes.
Okay, come up on power and let's see where that goes. Okay, now we're back up to about 450.
Clean right now. I'm not sure exactly what was causing it before. Did you change location proximity to the power amp or to your radio or something between transmissions?
Or something between transmissions? No. Full disclosure, what I did is actually enabled and disabled the virtual audio cable that's feeding the radio, and there might have been some codec problems there or something, but as long as it's like, I'm not hearing it in the monitor as well on my side, so the gremlins left the building, I think.
I think the Lemons have left the building, right? I think they have left for sure, because that sounds very good. Roger.
Because that sounds very good. Roger. Okay, Roger. Do you have any comments on the audio at all? Just curious, what your take on the current setup here?
Sounds pretty good, but we could always do better. Check to be sure you're in that wide transmit bandwidth, 100 to 2900. That will let your transmitter operate at its peak performance, Roger. I know that you can probably go higher than 2900, but then you have people coming looking for you with pitchforks, and we don't want that. So 100 to 2900 gives you just a slice of daylight before you're into somebody else's front yard, Roger.
You're into somebody else's front yard, Roger? Oh, Roger, yeah. We're set at actually at 90 and 2900 for today on here, so we're all good. But I'll let you get back to your thing there and help out some more gentlemen out there. And I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And thanks again for your comments. This is November 9, Bravo, Charlie.
Yes, sir, Dan, we have a further setup there. It goes then to your compressor processor, where we suggest running a 3 on the compressor processor. Actually, a 3 out of 10 or a 30 out of 100, depending on how your compressor processor is labeled. Just a third of that. If you get higher than a 3 or higher than a third, you start getting sucked up between words, which doesn't do anybody any good. You start hearing things that you don't want to hear. And so a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, Roger?
3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, Roger? Oh, Roger, yep. I fully understand that.
And then proceed then to your ALC with the mic gain in hand. And as you say the magic word audio, you become a human test generator. And you adjust your mic gain until your ALC is running 7 or 2/3, depending on how it's labeled.
Or 2/3, depending on how it's labeled. Okay, let's see here. Audio. Oh, there we go. Just coming up about a third of the way up, so it's definitely in the good zone.
Roger. Now we're looking to the right side of middle. The right side of middle of the AOC. Roger. Just a little bit to the right side of center. Roger.
Just a little bit to the right side of center. Roger. That is correct. Just a little bit past halfway.
Roger. You looked pretty close earlier, but now you're looking really good. EQ-wise, you sound really good. Could use just a little bit more on the top end. That's one of my pet peeves, is articulation. And so I'm always looking for a better deal on the audio, just a little brighter, maybe a couple of clicks treble boost on your EQ, depending. What kind of EQ do you have on that radio?
Depending, what kind of EQ do you have on that radio? The EQ is actually all the equipment's on outboard in a rack that we're currently feeding into the radio. We're not using any of the radio's internal EQ processing.
Roger that. So would you happen to have 2.7 kilohertz treble boost? 2.7 kilohertz treble boost?
2.7 kilohertz treble boost? Yeah, I can bump up 2.7.
Yes, sir. And can you control the width?
Sir, and can you control the width? I can.
Okay, width of 4, 2.7 kilohertz, the frequency, and plus 3 clicks from where you are. 3 clicks boost from where you are. 2.7 kilohertz frequency, width of 4.
Kilohertz frequency, width of 4. Okay, I just gave it about a dB and a half a boost at 2.7.
Yes, sir, that sounds really good. I think you like your recording. We will be recording and feeding it up to YouTube by noon tomorrow. If you go to YouTube, do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor. That will take followed by the word logbook. That's KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, will take you to this recording. And again, as I said, we'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. Roger?
We'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. Roger? Okay, I will definitely take a look at that and see what I sound like over the air. So I appreciate your time and patience.
Yes, sir. One other thing. Let me see if I can copy you on my local antenna. I'm using the PASDR. Give me a little bit about your antenna system, and let me move around and see if I can find a better connection real quick.
Yeah, move around and see if I can find a better connection real quick. Okay. Today is a dual band double bazooka, and it's kind of in a inverted V fashion, and the peak is about 45 feet or so. And the ends are probably, I'm guessing, 10 to 15 feet up off the end, off the ground. So that's what we're currently running here, and about 450 watts peak, and that's what we got. This is November 9 Bravo Charlie.
Roger, Roger, Brent. I went to my local antenna. I'm running a 7300, which is good down to 100 cycles. You sound really good all the way down there. And I do that just to have a second point of view. The other one was listening to an SDR, internet SDR, and they roll the bottom end at about 250, 200 cycles, somewhere in there. So when I went to my 7300, it's good down to 100 cycles. So you get another opinion, right? It's kind of like seeking a doctor's second opinion. And so you'll have that to look at. We also are running a spectrum analyzer on the set, so you can, it's showing my audio and your audio. And then to the right side, I have a chevron that's showing where I am, where I'm listening from. So when I shift it from the PA SDR up to my local receiver, you could see that shift also. Roger?
Okay, Roger. Very good, very good. I'm very excited to see what that looks like when you upload that video. In the meantime, I'll sit back here and I'm going to listen on and check out your YouTube channel. I appreciate it very much. And 73, KC9VKV, this is N9DC.
Roger, Roger, Brent 73 that way, sir. Happy holidays. And if you get a chance to join us next Friday, we'd love to have you. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Radio 4, India, Sierra.
India, Sierra station, come back slowly, phonetically with your call sign.
Kilo, Romeo 4, India, Sierra.
India, Sierra, what's your name there?
Yeah, the name here is Jeff. I'm in Virginia Beach, Virginia, running a 10-tech Omni 7 and an Ameritron ALS 1300, and doing about 1,000 watts into a 17-meter doublet at 90 foot, kind of facing out your way.
Yes, sir. Well, near as I can figure, you're somewhere about 20 over. I'm still on my local antenna. Your frequency content is very full. You have a nice bottom end. You could use, again, like I say, a little top end to match that beautiful bottom end, but we could start back a little bit further just to be sure you're in that 100 to 2900 transmit band width. That will let you operate that transmitter in its best possible mode. Roger?
Yeah, okay. I turned down the bandwidth just a little bit. KR4IS, Virginia Beach. How's that?
Well, ideally, we suggest 100 to 2900. That gives you just a slice of daylight before you're into somebody else's front yard. So 100 to 2900 are the magic numbers, Roger?
Yeah, it doesn't give me 2900. It gives me 28 or 3000 or 2.8 or 3.0. I don't have 2.9 as I twist my knob over.
Yes, sir. Okay, I would run at 28. Is that 100 to 2800 or 200 to 2800?
And explain that again.
Okay, is it 200 to 2800? Is that what it is now?
Okay. That's a question I cannot
answer. You do not have, I mean, most radios, a lot of the newer radios have sets that you can adjust the top and the bottom, and then they also have presets. Like you can do 100 to 2900, 200 to 2800, 300 to 2700, like that. Roger?
Yeah. I'm not familiar with that in my menu on this particular radio, to be honest. I mostly do CW with this Omni 7, and I get up here every once in a while and do some sideband typically I run it, and it doesn't. I can't. Maybe it does give me a range, but I typically run it 2800 or 3000, 2.8 or 3.0. But I guess I'm not understanding what's going on here. I've been a ham nearly 50 years, but yeah, it's just the way I roll. I'm a CW guy.
Yes, sir. Well, you were talking about you had a setting that was a 2800, so 2800 would do well if you want to slip it in that. If that's the best you can do. Normally we suggest 100 to 2900, but if you can't hit 2900, I wouldn't want to go to 3 because then you are right on the edge of splatter. So I would run at 28. Roger?
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, I'm at 3 right now. So, looking on your scope and everything, I guess I'm kind of splattering around a little bit at 3000. Would that be correct?
Well, like I say, I suggest 2900. That would be my suggestion. You can, you obviously can run it any way you want or any way you have to run it, but 100 to 2900 would be my preference to set it up. Roger?
Yeah, roger that. And this is where I typically keep it at, so it's all good. Thank you for coming back to me. And I just happened to get home early from work and turned the radio on and tuned around and heard you out there, and was intrigued with the last couple of contacts you had. So thank you for the input. Other than my bandwidth, does my audio sound good?
Well, see, that's the thing. Your bandwidth directly affects your audio curve. Because when you start running in those lesser modes, you're actually rolling off the top, and you need, I think, transmitters need all of the articulation they can get, and articulation is mainly in the higher frequencies. And when you start rolling off those high frequencies by going to lower, top ends, that's kind of defeative of the purpose, and that's why I usually want to set the bandwidth going in, then we can get a good idea of where we need to go on EQ. Now, I could ask you, I'm hearing a lot of mouth noise, and I'm not sure what kind of mic you're running there, Roger?
The microphone is on a boom that's what they call insulated boom. It's a Heil Goldline microphone.
Yes, sir. Do you have a foam windscreen on that mic?
No windscreen.
I would suggest one because I could definitely hear plosives and stuff moving around that microphone. It's hard to design a microphone with an interior pop screen, a windscreen, foam windscreen inside the microphone because there's still currents of air coming from your voice around the front end of that microphone that does make noise. So with an external foam windscreen, it just goes over the whole front of the microphone, and you eliminate all the noise except your voice. And then you can work that mic any way you want, and you're only going to have words coming out the other end. No mouth noises. Roger?
Yeah, very well. I have a Rockville. I'm actually holding it in my hands, a screen that goes on microphones. My son is he records music and makes music, and he gave me some stuff. I hadn't hooked this up, but I'm just holding it in my hand in front of the microphone. Could you tell a difference with this? If you do, I'll fasten it in some way that I can suspend it and put it in front of the Heil Goldline, KR4IS.
Roger, Jeff. Now, are you talking about a pop filter or a foam windscreen?
I don't know. It looks like a super fine screen. A screen. It's it's a like stainless steel wire mesh that is very fine.
Yes, sir. Well, that would be better than nothing. I would contact my, is it your son that has the recording studio, and say, hey, do you have a foam windscreen laying around there? But in the interim, I would use that that pop filter, you know, Roger?
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, all right, well, thank you very much. And maybe I'll play with this windscreen and come a little bit back farther away from the face of the microphone and stand back a little bit farther instead of getting right up onto it and let him check it out. I appreciate you being there. KR4IF.
Roger, well, I'll take that pop windscreen, and it's not my preference for a device to clean up the act, but if that's all you have at the moment, I would go ahead and put that pop windscreen about an inch in front of your microphone. Then I would close on in like I was, and then if you have some EQ that you can give me a little more treble EQ, top-end EQ, about +3 or so for boost to treble EQ to offset the moving back with that pop filter. I think that would really nice. What type of EQ do you have, sir?
Yeah, I'm running a 10-tech Omni 7 and about a kilowatt into a 17-meter doublet inverted V at 90 foot with 450 ohm line coming back into the shack.
Roger. Well, on your EQ, do you have anything at about 2.7 kilohertz treble boost? 2.7 kilohertz treble boost. Hello.
Yeah, I'm going through my menu. I'm not seeing these. Hang on a minute.
This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net, and we record now live till 5. And right now we're talking to Jeff up in Virginia, and he's running his Omni 7. And we're looking to find out about some EQ there.
Yeah, so it's negative 10 dB on the transmitter equalizer.
Negative 10 dB on what frequency?
That, it doesn't say. But I understand your question, but it doesn't display that.
Does it display adjustments for an equalizer? Like an equalizer would be a 10-band third octave equalizer, 3-band, 2-band, whatever?
It just says like negative 10. Right now I'm at negative 5. I just turned it down to give you an idea of the difference between negative 10 and negative 5.
Roger, I really like your curve, but I'm still getting some transient noise. You know, you could go to your music store. your favorite music store and get you a foam windscreen in the color of your choice for about $4 or $5, Roger, and just slip over the whole thing, and then you can work that mic any way you like, Roger.
Yeah, okay. Very good. So, yeah, so my audio is kind of popping, if you will. It's, you hear the hisses and the background noise and pops and whatnot from my voice. I think I understand what you're saying.
Well, it's not really the popping. It's not that bad, but there is mouth noise, kind of like chewing on a hot dog as you're talking. You know, not really pops or stuff, but just mouth noises in general. And that's what a foam windscreen will take out. It's all that little stuff that distracts from the words that you're saying.
That's very interesting. All right. Well, actually, I do have that kind of stuff around here, and I'll let you carry on with somebody else, and I'm gonna dig up some sort of a windscreen of sorts to go over top of this Heil Gold line.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Foam windscreen. That's what I suggest. And if you get a chance, maybe check back in, and we can pick up from where we left off. I'd like to get you with a little more top end. You're not quite as articulated as I would like, and it all revolves around upper frequency pushes, like at that 2.7 frequency we're talking about 3 or 4 clicks boost from where you are, and a width of 4 if you get a chance, and then check back and we'll see how you are. Between now and then, if you, if you would like, I'd just tell you about we are recording and we'll be posting it up on YouTube. So if you go to YouTube, do a call letter search, KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. That will take you to this recording, Roger.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. I just turned it down to -3 on this thing. -3 on the equalizer, transmit equalizer. And you still say the same thing. I need go ahead and get me a cover, if you will, for the microphone.
Yes, sir. Foam windscreen for the microphone, and about 3 clicks boost, treble EQ at 2.7 kilohertz or so.
All right, I will do some research and find that. I know I've got a couple around here. As I said earlier, my son's a recording guy. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you for being there. Merry Christmas from KR4IS.
Roger, Jeff. 73, sir. You have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend, and we'll have this uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Kilo Delta 4, Sierra Italy Radio. Kilo Delta 4, Sierra Italy Radio.
Kilo Delta 4, what was the rest?
Kilo Delta 4, Sierra Italy Radio. Kilo Delta 4, Sierra Italy Radio.
Roger, Sierra. India, gosh, give me the call slowly. That's the trick. Instead of twice, just give me one slow one. Roger.
Roger. This is Kilo Delta 4, Sierra Italy Radio. 84 SIR.
Roger, Sierra Italy Romeo. What's the name there?
Name here is Scott in Evansville, Indiana.
Okay, Scott, let me look around here. Why don't you tell me about your antenna system? I'll look around and see if I can find a better path for us, Roger.
Roger. I talked to you last weekend.
For us, Roger.
Roger. I talked to you last Carolina. We just happened to put up 60 meters. I just happened to tune across and found you, and then realized that I didn't know any of my audio settings in this Flex 6600. And so I spent the last week researching it and getting the settings the way I think you'd like it. So I'm hoping you'll give me a good report and give me a good grade on my report card, and Santa will come visit this weekend. So we'll see you. We'll see how you like it.
Yes, sir. Well, what you got is sounding pretty good there. I would double check to be I'm sure that I was in that 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth that will allow your transmitter to perform at its best. Roger, Roger.
Yep, that was the first thing I found, and then I found my there was a DEXP that got rid of background noise, and then I adjusted my microphone gain so that I keep wanting to walk away from the mic here. I adjusted my microphone gain so that my ALC was at 30%, and then turned my processor on, and then I got my EQ set up here. I noticed I'm having to get back on the mic a little bit. I wasn't talking into the mic before. I was back, but my EQ is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wide, and I have it. The 63 is at -10. The 125 is at -2, the 250 is at -1, the 500 is 0, 1K is at 8, 2K is at 6, 4K is at -1, and 8K is at -10. So I'm hoping that's what I've been reporting myself at, and what I think I sound okay, and I hope you give me an A.
Well, let's proceed on with our setup there. You are in that 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth. Let's move to our compressor on and add a 3 out of 10, 30 out of 100, depending on how the compressor processor is labeled. Roger?
Roger. The processor is, and the Flex Radio has got a normal, a DX, and a DX Plus, and I just leave it at normal. This is what it sounds like when it's turned off, and when I turn it back on, this is what it sounds like.
Not much difference, but just leave it in normal. Leave it in normal. Then proceed to your ALC with mic gain in hand, and as you say the magic word audio, spoken just as you would speak any other word in the QSO, adjust your mic gain until your ALC meter is running 2/3 or 7, depending on which one comes first.
Roger, Roger. I had set it, I realized I had it a little hot before, so I set it at 58, and found that was the magic for my, I got to kind of watch not to yell in the microphone anymore because I'm right up on it right now. I learned that last week with you. And, but yeah, that's at 58 now, and I'm getting about 1/3 on the ALC.
Roger. Well, ideally, you want to be about halfway at least. You actually want to be to the right side of mid-scale on your ALC, at least to the right side, slightly of mid-ALC reading. Roger?
Roger, Roger. I'll have to, I guess I do peak at that way, and then so I need to turn up my mic just a little bit maybe. Let's try that a little bit. There's 65, 64, KD4SIR, and audio. How's that sound?
So I can hear you coming up, and you're still loose. I'm looking at your audio on a VU meter, and I can tell by the movement of the VU meter how it hangs as to what your audio dB strength is. See, a normal voice without any compression or limiting is about 10 dB. And as we close that down at 10 dB, your modulation level is about 30%. And as we close that down through compression and whatever to about 3 dB, then your average percent of peak modulation gets up there to around 80 to 85%. So you start sounding much louder than what you actually are because you're compressing that voice. And I can tell by the way that meter moves as it hangs that you still have some ways to go before you actually reach 3 dB dynamic range. So you could come up on that level just a little bit more. Roger?
All right. Well, this is at about 71%. So I'm taking out my level says I'm redlining here at normal, but I do seem to playing a little bit better. Does this sound any better?
I would drop it back just a little bit. I can hear it break a little bit now, so I would bring it back just about. What's your level now?
I was at 71, and this is at 68.
Yeah, I would run it right about that, and then move to our equalization page, Roger.
All right, go ahead, sir.
All righty, what kind of an equalizer do you have, sir?
It's 8 bands, and it gives me the frequencies going across. It starts with 63 and ends with 8K.
Yes, sir. Okay, I think we went through that before. We want everything from 1.4 hertz, 1.4 kilohertz to be flat. Actually, from 400. Let's make it 400 to 1.5. We want all those to be flat. From 400 cycles to 1.4 flat on that equalizer, because all mics can pretty much do that relatively flat within that mid-range. Where they have problems is usually at the top end and the bottom end. So we want to give that mic, pass on the mid-ranges and flatten all those so we don't start developing holes and hills. But right at, since you do not have 2.7, we're talking about the top end treble EQ, it'll be a game between 4 kilohertz and 2 kilohertz. So we're flat all the way from 400 up to 2 or thereabouts, and then at 2 we want to do plus 3 at 2 and plus 6 at 4, Roger.
Oh, okay. I have, going across, on 63 I have negative 10, 125 I have negative 2, 250 I have negative 1, and the 50 I have 0, the 1K I have at 8, but you want me to lower that down to 0, is that correct?
That is a Roger. Cut or neither cut nor boost. It's called 0.
All right, that's 1K at 0, and then 2K is now at 6, and 4K is at negative 1, and 8K is at negative 10. How do I sound now?
Let's go back to that 2K. I want that 2K at plus 4, 2K at plus 4, Roger?
Okay, that's at plus 4.
And then 6K at plus 6. I'm sorry, 4K at plus 6.
Okay, that's 4K at plus 6.
Alrighty, and why don't you tell me about your antenna system one more time?
Okay, so last weekend my friend WP9ONU came over, and I was asking him about putting up a loop. I've always had a sky loop and really loved it, and then I had made this Carolina Wyndham, and so he had me put it up. We just shot 3 trees actually, and put up this Carolina Wyndham because I have a gap antenna, Gap Titan, and it works well with DX, but I had trouble with North America getting local stations. So last weekend we heard you on, you said you were listening out of Louisville, and I was thrilled. So I'm glad I found you, because I was always worried about the audio of this radio.
Yes, sir. Now, on your bottom end, that 50 cycles is minus 10. Is that a Roger?
Yeah, Roger. The 63 is at negative 10.
Okay, the 120 is where?
The 125 is at negative 2.
Take that to 0. Bring that up to 0.
Okay, now that's at 0.
And that 250 up to 0.
Okay, it was at negative 1, and now it's at 0.
So you're 0 pretty much down the bottom end there, Roger?
Yeah, except for 63 is at negative 10.
Try that one more time. My, somebody QRMing. We got them in every crowd. There's one of them. It's just a question of how do you get rid of them.
That's okay. I got an audio filter. I can't hear him. It's an automatic antenna or automatic filter. I don't even hear him at all. But my 63 is at negative 10.
Yes, sir. Okay. Go back up to the top end, and we're going to deal with 4K is at +6. Is that a Roger?
Roger, Roger. The 4K is at +6.
Take that 4K at +8. I'm assuming you have +10 capabilities, so 4K at +8, Roger?
Roger, that's 4K at +8.
All right. Tell me the best thing you like about your radio.
The fact that I got to learn how to use it. Last weekend I learned how to use it. Last weekend when I found it last week, I was learning. No, I didn't have anybody to go over the mic settings on me, so I'm really glad I got to learn that.
Yes, okay. Take that 2K minus 2 clicks from where it is. 2K back minus 2 clicks minus where it is.
Yeah, Roger. Okay, so the 2K was at 4, and now it's at 2. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. I think that's it. Sounds good. And if you'd like to hear it, Scott, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 2,800 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. And Scott, where are you located again?
I'm in Evansville, Indiana.
Okay, and your radio is which?
I have a Flex 6600.
Alrighty, and let me give you a little more audio. Now I've got a thing that I'm monitoring 6 different SDRs, or actually 5 SDRs, actually 6, somewhere around 80 SDRs. I have 5 displayed right now, and about 50 more pre-programmed that I can go to pretty quick. But I'll just dial around. I've got a chevron on the right side of my screen, and you can see it, and it'll tell you where I'm listening from. So just yap a little bit there, about 20-30 seconds, and tell me about something I don't know, and I'll move around and you'll be able to see where I'm listening from. Roger?
Roger, Roger. Yeah, you asked me that last week.
Listening from Roger?
Roger, Roger. Yeah, you asked me that last weekend to tell you something. And that kind of, I think you got it. And helping people with their, I really do. It made me want to get. I got on the old net and actually worked 160 meters for the first time. I've been a ham 30 years and worked 160 meters last weekend, and had a blast with it. Everybody was talking about static crashes, but I didn't hear it. Love this radio, and I'm glad to get the audio finally set up on it. So appreciate your work.
Roger, Scott. Okay, sir, get the Gorilla Tape out and tape her down. Sounds pretty good to me.
All right, thanks a lot. I need to remember to save my profile. I didn't do that last time I talked to you, so I'm going to save my profile right now.
Yes, sir, do that. Boy, them menu-driven radios drive you crazy. Used to be, you would set something, it would stay the hell there till you moved it. I like those kind of radios. I hate those radios that decide they know more than you do.
Well, I do appreciate your help, and it's been a learning curve, which is really what I like about the Flex. So I'll let you help somebody else, and I do sure do appreciate it. KC9VKV KD4SI. Thank you.
Roger, Scott, 73, sir. You have a nice holiday season, and we'll see you next Friday if you get a chance. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog Net. My name is Jim, and if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Kilo Quebec 4 Kilo. Give me a shout. Kilo Quebec 4 Kilo Romeo Delta.
Romeo Delta Station, come back with your call sign slowly, phonetically.
Romeo Delta Station, come back with your call sign slowly, phonetically. Kilo Quebec 4 Kilo Romeo Delta.
Kilo Romeo Delta, Roger, what's the name?
Kilo Romeo Delta, Roger, what's the name? Hey, Jim, the name here is Will.
Roger, Will, and where are you located? Roger, Will, and where are you located?
I'm sorry, I got the Roger, Will, and then I missed it after that.
I'm sorry, where are you located, Will? I'm sorry, where are you located, Will?
I am located in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Roger, Will, in North Carolina, and what radio are you running? Roger, Will, in North Carolina, and what radio are you running?
I am running a Yaesu FE710.
Alrighty, Will, is that a newer radio or an older radio? Alrighty, Will, is that a newer radio or an older radio?
It's a new radio, I think, and new to me at least. I got it several weeks ago. New amateur. I just started about 6 months ago, so without pulling the history of the radio, I would guess that it's a couple of years ago.
Roger, Roger. Well, I went around the horn, and I'm picking you up best in over in Kentucky, Lexington, Kentucky. I'm copying you best in. That's one of the more intriguing SDRs that I use. And if you're interested in our setup, it would be to be sure that you're in that wide transmit bandwidth, 100 to 2900. That will let your transmitter operate in the best mode it can. Roger? That will let your transmitter operate in the best mode it can. Roger?
Roger, Roger. Most of the way I use the radio is for DX and trying to do parks on the air. So I followed a YouTube tutorial on how to set it up to punch my audio to try to get through pileups and try to make it through low signal situation. However, I have no clue what I sound like on the other end. Do you recommend going from 100 to 2900 as opposed to, say, 300 to 2700 for those use cases?
Yes, sir. I recommend 100 to 2900, and we'll take care of that top end on EQ. Not in the bandpass. So we want the bandpass bandwidth to be 100 to 2900. Roger, Roger. And let's go back, though, and double-check a couple of things. Usually we do the bandwidth first, so we know what we're dealing with. So, if you can, slip it in that 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth. That would be the first part of our setup, Roger. Bandwidth, that would be the first part of our setup, Roger.
Roger, Roger. Give me 1 second to figure out where that is.
You've shifted just a little bit atmospheric conditions. Can you still copy me? You've shifted just a little bit atmospheric conditions. Can you still copy me?
Yeah, I hear you just fine. I changed the radio to 100 to 2900.
You are in 100 to 2900. Is that a Roger? You are in 100 to 2900. Is that a Roger?
Roger, Roger. 100 to 2900.
Excellent. Now I would go to your compressor processor on, and at a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, depending on how it's labeled. We just want a third of that compressor processor on. So it's a compressor processor on at 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100. Roger? Processor on at 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100. Roger?
Roger, Roger. I am currently at 15. I need to figure out my max to figure out what the
What's your input label described as 0 to 10 or 0 to 100? Label described as 0 to 10 or 0 to 100?
The label for PROG level is 0 to 100. I was at 17 prior, and I have moved to 30.
Excellent, excellent. Now to your ALC meter with mic gain in hand, and as you say the magic word audio, spoken as you would speak any other word in a QSO, audio, adjust your mic gain until your ALC is running 2/3. Roger?
Until your ALC is running 2/3. Roger?
Roger that. Audio. For my ALC meter, it is under my S meter, and the S meter goes from 1 to 9 in the center, and then it goes all the way up to plus 60 on the dB. So should I be aiming for somewhere around an S6?
Do you have a meter called ALC? If you have a meter dedicated to ALC, you should be running a 2/3 scale. Set mic level to 2/3 scale as you say the word audio. Roger?
Set mic level to 2/3 scale as you say the word audio. Roger?
Roger. Audio. I'm about 2/3. The ALC meter does not have numbers or even separations on it. It just has a section of white bar and then a section of blue bar, which I assume is where the ALC kicks in. And I am about 2/3 through the white bar, and I have a third left until the blue bar starts.
Roger. I'm looking at your audio, and it seems to be at about 3 dB dynamic range, which is what we're looking for. Now, do you know how to get to your equalization page?
Do you know how to get to your equalization page?
I'm not sure if, let's see, maybe it's in the radio settings. In high cut slope. The low, mid, and high cut slope and frequency.
You have a 3-band EQ, is that a Roger?
You have a 3-band EQ, is that a Roger?
Okay, so we want your mid-band to be at 0, neither cut nor boost. It's 0 level. Because the whole thing about an equalizer is to strike a balance between the mid-range, the top end in the mid-range and the bottom end in the mid-range. And if you push or minus the bottom end, it becomes more difficult for the top and the bottom to reach the mid-range. So we want the mid-range to be flat. Roger.
The mid-range. So we want the mid-range to be flat. Roger.
Roger. I just finished the parametric EQ level. It would be my mid from a 10 to a 0.
Okay, I'm starting to have difficulty copying you, but just have that mid-range flat, plus or minus 0. No cut, no boost. Roger?
Plus or minus 0. No cut, no boost. Roger?
Roger. It's been changed from 10 to 0.
All right, then let's move to your treble EQ, plus 4 from where you are. Treble EQ boost, plus 4 from where you are. Plus 4 clicks, boost, treble EQ from where you are.
Plus 4 clicks, boost, treble EQ from where you are.
The treble EQ is currently maxed out at 10. I cannot go higher.
Excellent. So give me a little bit more audio where I can hear you, Roger.
Excellent. So give me a little bit more audio where I can hear you, Roger.
Roger. Well, my name is Will. I'm currently operating a Yaesu FP710. I am new to this radio. Prior to this, I was running a QRP rig, 5-watt SDR. All of my antennas have been homemade. I started out with a simple dipole. The current antenna that I am running is a band vertical. quarter wave vertical. Have the longer bands, the 40 meter and 80 meter going up feet. And then L band. Over.
Yes, sir. Well, I think we got it, sir. If you want to listen to that, we'll be uploading to YouTube by noon tomorrow. Or you go to YouTube, do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. We'll take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 2,800. And again, like I said, we'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow, Roger.
And again, like I said, we'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow, Roger.
Roger, Roger. Just wanted to confirm the call sign, Kilowatt Charlie 9, Victor, Kilowatt Victor. Is that QSO?
Roger, Roger. Kilo Charlie 9, Victor, Kilo Victor. Name is Jim. And we're located next door to Louisville, Kentucky, on the Indiana side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville, Roger.
On the Indiana side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville, Roger.
Roger, Roger. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you helping me get this audio dialed in. I had complaints with DX about being overmodulated. So I kind of blindly did on the other side to help critique and improve it. So I really appreciate what you're doing here. Thank you so much for your time. And I'm going to say, hope you have a Merry Christmas, have a Happy New Year, the 73s, Kilo Charlie 9, Victor, Kilo Victor, this is Kilo Quebec 4, Kilo Romeo Delta, clear.
Roger, Roger, Will, 73, sir. Have happy holidays, and if you get a chance, join us next Friday. We'd love to have you. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Victor Echo 3, Papa, Charlie, Papa.
Papa, Charlie, Papa. Let me get to PASDR. Go ahead, Papa, Charlie, Papa.
PASDR. Go ahead, Papa, Charlie, Papa.
Yeah, good afternoon, Jim. I just wanted to drop in and wish you and yours a Merry Christmas. Not too much going on here. Got off work a little bit early, so able to get home and sit in the shack and turn on the amplifier and tune into your Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog. QSO.
Oh, Roger, Roger. So you staying warm up that way?
Oh, Roger, Roger. So you staying warm up that way?
Oh yeah, it's plus 4 Celsius here today, so that's around 40 degrees Fahrenheit. QSO.
Roger. Now, how do you keep Celsius and Fahrenheit together? I can't even do the one. How do you use both of them, Roger?
Together, I can't even do the one. How do you use both of them, Roger?
Oh, practice. As you may know, Canada's been metric for many decades, but you just kind of degrees Celsius. 1 degree Celsius is 1.8 degrees Fahrenheit. So if you got 4 degrees Celsius multiplied times 2, that's 8, and then add it to 32, and so you're up around 40 degrees QSO.
Roger. Now, I just had my my PASDR cease to be. I'm not quite sure what's wrong with that. Hang on just a second. Let me get back to that. Maybe that's not really sure why. And boy, I tell you, the best laid plans of mice nor men sometimes are difficult. Come on back and let me hear you see how the PASDR is doing.
Hear you see how the PASDR is doing.
Okay, Roger, Roger. No problem. There is a really good SDR up in Vermont. A really good SDR up in Vermont too. That is probably better than the one in PA. Now, I'm not sure whether you're using Web SDR or Kiwi SDR. The one in Vermont is Kiwi SDR, so I know the Kiwis are not quite as good audio-wise as the Web SDR, so I'm not quite sure. Are you using Web SDR or Kiwi SDR?
Using Kiwi SDR, and let me just see here. Usually Oh, I managed to get back in. That's amazing. But the wrong frequency I came back in on, so let me get that 7188. All right, let's see here now. Should be working now. All right, we can come back now and let me listen to you.
Should be. Let me listen to you.
Okay, Roger, Roger. Well, like I was saying, there's another really good QESR in Vermont, and it's actually received the signals from Ontario better than the one in Milford does. So maybe if you're bombing around sometime, check it out.
Roger, Roger. Now, I told myself I wasn't going to be referring to Milford anymore because it's now really difficult to get into because it's become very, very popular, if you know what I mean. So I just refer to it as the PASDR. Roger?
PASDR. Roger.
Yeah, Roger, Roger. No, I understand completely. Anyway, Jim, I won't hold it. Like I said, I just wanted to drop by and wish you and yours a very Merry Christmas. And I did send you some information. We did a big operation on December the 12th for the 122nd anniversary of Marconi receiving the first transatlantic signal at Signal Hill, Newfoundland. We did 9 bands. We operated from about 5:30 a.m. until about 5:30 p.m. Had 3 guest operators, so it was a bigger operation. So if you get a chance, you can check my YouTube channel for live streams there. Anyway, Jim 73, all the best to you and yours, and have a safe and happy Christmas. KC9VKV and VE3PCP.
Roger, Roger, and I copy you 30 over on Milford. 30 over on Milford. Good signal. Happy New Year's and a Merry Christmas, or vice versa, whichever comes first. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and we'll see you next Friday if you get a chance. 73 again, and this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
You want to check out? Give me a shout.
I would take a tum for that.
I would take a tum for that.
Okay, so I think we're going to go down in Florida. We've had some folks down in Florida that have been wanting to join us but have had some problems. So I'm going to go on my Hocus Pocus SDR receiver, and that's got about 60 SDRs over 20 states. And I'm going to go down to Florida and start... let's start at Miami. We go to Miami and see what we got there, see if we've got anybody down in the bottom part of the state. This is KC9VKV. Calling Florida, this is KC9VKV. Anybody down in Florida?
VKV, anybody down in Florida?
We're listening down around Miami. Anybody down that way?
Miami, anybody down that way?
All right, so we're going to come on up the state there, and let's see here. We're going to Boca Raton. See if anybody's in Boca Raton. This is KC9VKV, looking down in Florida. Anybody down in Florida wanting to get in? Nothing in Boca Raton, so we got one more, well, we got 2 more actually, but I'm just going to go to Orlando. Let's see, and that'll probably be about the best we can do down in Florida. KC9VKV, can't get into Orlando for some reason. Castleberry, I don't know exactly where Castleberry is, and I'm not getting into it anyway. Let me go back and reset and come back in again. We'll try this one more time. Orlando, yes, all right. Here we go in Orlando, listening in Orlando. This is KC9VKV, listening from in Orlando right now. Anybody want to make contact down in Orlando?
In Orlando right now. Anybody want to make contact down in Orlando?
Okay, so that's our shot at Florida. We're going to come back up to Pennsylvania there. This is KC9VKV, Friday afternoon, Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
8 Echo Papa Sierra.
Echo Papa Sierra, come back one more time with your call sign phonetically slowly.
Call sign phonetically slowly.
All right, Jim. K Kilo 8 Echo Papa Sierra.
Roger, Echo Papa Sierra. And what's the name?
Papa Sierra, and what's the name?
Name here is Eric. Echo Romeo India Charlie.
Roger, Eric, and whereabouts are you located, sir?
Roger, Eric, and whereabouts are you located, sir?
I am located on the southeast side of Columbus, Ohio.
All right, Ohio, and what radio are you running?
All right, Ohio, and what radio are you running?
I have a Kenwood TS890 and a Shure mic running on an outboard equalizer.
Yes. Are you feeding from the backside of your radio or through the mic input?
Backside of your radio or through the mic input?
I'm feeding it through the mic input.
All right. If you'd be interested in a setup, the first thing to do would be to double check to be sure we're in that 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth. It'll let you operate that transmitter in the best possible situation. Roger?
Possible situation. Roger?
Roger that, Jim. I am in 100 to 2900, having followed you for a good while.
All right, sir. Then make sure that you're in your compressor's on or your processor's on, either one, on at a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100. Roger?
10 or 30 out of 100. Roger?
That's where I've got it. It's currently showing 3 out of 10.
Yes, sir. Now move to your ALC with mic gain in hand, and as you say the magic word audio, adjust your mic gain until your ALC is running 2/3 or 7.
It's running 2/3 or 7.
Audio. I am currently running about 50%. I'm going to pop the mic gain up just a little and see if we can bring audio. Yeah, now we're at 2/3.
Excellent. Now to your EQ. Roger?
Roger, I'm looking at the EQ graph, so I have it pretty much set up the way you request, which is flat from about 220 up to 1K, and then it starts to rise from there.
All right. Do you? Is that an 8-band EQ?
Is that an 8-band EQ?
It is a 12-band. On the high end, I can do 1.7 and 2.4 and 3.3 and 4.0.
Oh my goodness, the gremlins again. Deliberate QRMing. We got them, clowns of the air. Try that again now. You got anything around 2.7?
I have 2.4, and then the next one is 3.3.
Are those fixed, or can you adjust them?
No, I have them turned up pretty much all the way. This will go to a plus 15 dB, and I'm up at about plus 13 or 14 in those two bands.
All righty, I'm getting you on my New York PASDR. Why don't you come back and tell me about your antenna system, and let me go through it and see if I can find a better path for us.
Let me go through it and see if I can find a better path for us.
Roger. That is a vertical, a DX is a vertical. It's about... I don't need to run any tuners. All the SWRs are below 1.1. And it's been a really good one. The wind doesn't seem to bother it, and it just sits out there and minds its own business.
Roger, Roger. I got you on my local antenna. It's 7300, good down to 100 cycles, 3 up at the top. I would suggest just a tad more treble EQ for enunciation. That would be, ideally it would be 2.7. We could maybe work a combination of 2.4 and 2.8 or 3 or something.
All right, Jim, I bumped them up a couple of points, both the 2.4 and the 3.3. I do have some 1.7 dialed in. It's up about 5 or 6 dB. I could probably turn it down if I need to.
Yes, sir, I would, because that's giving you kind of an irritating part to the audio. I think I'm pretty sure that's what that is. If you could take that back to 0. Plus or minus 0, no cut, no boost.
Roger, I took the 1.7 down to 0.
Plus or minus 0?
Correct.
Yes, sir. I think that sounds a whole lot better. It's less piercing that way. You know, when you start on those frequencies like 1 KC, you know, that's right in that telephone range, and you push it, and it's just becomes very irritating. And you know, if you move it back down to 0, 1 KC back to 0, and the other one above that back to 0, then it becomes more pleasing, but it still has a very good cut to it. Roger?
Roger, Jim. That's what we've got. We're flat from 220 to 1.7 at this point, and then it rises up above that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think it sounds pretty good. Get the Gorilla Tape and taper down, and you can go to YouTube, do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, and that will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 2800, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. Roger?
Roger, Jim. I like that. I will definitely go check that out. And it's a wonderful service you provide. I really appreciate it. I spent the first 5 months I owned this radio not transmitting on it, but reading the owner's manual and opening up all the menus and figuring out where everything was. So I wanted to have it pretty well set. It sounds like we were very close. I appreciate your ear, Jim. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. KC9VKV, this is Kilo 8. Echo Papa Sierra, wishing you a good holiday.
Roger, Roger, Eric, 73 there, sir. Thanks for dropping by. Have a great Christmas and a beautiful Happy New Year. And if you get a chance, join us next Friday. We'd love to have you. And with that said, if you have participated, want to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube, do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook. That will take you to this recording. I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow, and it'll be cut number 1 in a series of 2800 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. So with that said, we'll be returning this frequency back to normal amateur radio use. This is KC9VKV, clear.